It's just reported it's taken a £20 million hit over the tragedy in Tunisia and the economic crisis in Greece.
33 of the 38 victims killed in the Tunisian beach attack in June were travelling with TUI Group operators. Ben is at the stock exchange for us this morning. Morning, Ben.
Yeah, morning to you both. As you said, it's the first time we've had a figure put on the cost of that tragedy in Tunisia. The company telling us it cost about £20 million. They're very keen, of course, to point out that there was a personal cost to all of this, and they're very keen to make sure that anyone that was affected by it, that things are put right. But clearly there is a business implication, many people cancelling their holidays to the country, having to move elsewhere. And at the same time, coupled with that, there's all that turmoil in Greece, a debt crisis there, put off many people from travelling to the country as a result of that. So again, they've had to restructure the business and make sure they can offer alternatives to customers, and all of that has come at a cost of £20 million. We've been speaking to the chief executive this morning. This is what he had to say about those events in Tunisia and, of course, in Greece.
Loss of life for our customers being on holiday is just unbearable. So my deepest sympathies, not just from me, but for our whole organisation. And I can tell you that our whole organisation in the UK is still reeling over this situation. Greece is a very important destination for us. The bookings slowed down a little bit, but I'm pleased to say that we've seen a recovery in terms of demand, and the Greek islands are performing very strongly.
That's the boss there of TUI speaking to us a little earlier. Well, Martin Alcock is with me. He's from the Travel Retail Consultancy. Martin, the challenge there clearly for business is that they operate across so many borders in so many different countries, and when a tragedy like this happens, they have to deal with it, and they have to deal with it well. TUI there clearly pointing out that it has a financial cost too. How do they deal with things like that?
Well, morning, Ben. I think, to understand the size of those numbers, really, it's to understand some way the size and complexity of the businesses these guys are running. TUI operating in something like 180 countries around the world, so they're always more likely to be impacted by these sorts of events. Let's not forget there's a business reputation angle that they need to protect. There's also a legal responsibility under the regulations. There's also Foreign Office advice that comes into play in these sorts of situations.
How do consumers change behaviour? We heard there from the boss pointing out that bookings, for example, to Greece were down. It counts for about 10% of their business. What changes? Do people react immediately, cancel their holidays and look for other things, or do we see this starting to tail off over a period of time?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I mean, firstly, it knocks confidence, and a knock in confidence is bad for any retail sector, but definitely travel, where people are making bookings and commitments for a long way out. The other thing you often see in Europe is a big retrench to Spain. Spain is like your reserve currency, if you like, your Swiss franc investment. People would go back to what's familiar, and so you'd expect to see Spain and the Canaries do really well out of these sort of situations.
Okay, Martin, thanks very much indeed, Martin Alcock there. And clearly that is the concern. There is a huge personal cost attached to all of this, but from a business point of view, it's about how they deal with it, and of course drawing a line under the worst of that tragedy. More from me a little later.
Thank you very much, Ben. See you later.